So in today's Maker World find, here is a parametric sorting tray. So this is really cool. It's just a simple tray that you can design however many pockets you would like, however size you like. And I have found this in the past few months indispensable in helping me do projects around the house or work on electronics or anything else. Here I'm just kind of using it as storage as I kind of consolidate some stuff and try to figure out where I'm going to put that. Another thing I've done, I had to, when I was working on my closet, I had to do a lot of drilling and putting of parts into the wall. So I just loaded up on screws and sheetrock inserts, and I just used this, as you can see, by all the sheetrock dust as a place to store stuff and to put just stuff that I was taking out that no longer mattered. You can make these almost any size you would like as long as your printer has room. So here's one that I have that actually was taking apart some lights that stopped working. I was just going to save the screws for some unknown purpose in the future. And this is really cool. And then finally I made kind of a large one this is more for storage than anything else. I used this one the other day. I had to change the extruder on my A1. And this was really good because there are several sets of screws that hold it to the machine. And as I took them out, I put them in individual bays here. And that allowed me to basically repeat the process going backwards as I put it back together, help keep everything straight. And you'll see a lot of watchmakers and other people like that use these small trays like this. So this is the find of the day. And like I said, it's really cool. Let's go over to Maker World and take a look at it and see what it's about.
Okay, we're back in Maker World, and here is our parametric sorting tray by Benjamin Cott. And Benjamin has created some samples here. Forgot to mention these are stackable, so the way that the top and bottom is created, you can stack them as long as they're the same size. He's also created a bunch of samples here that you can download if this is what you're looking for. Or if you want to customize it and create your own, just click the Customize button, and that will open up an SCAD model that allows you to make changes yourself. If you've never done that, SCAD is an open source tool that allows you to create a 3D design using programming. And MakerWorld created an interface for that where people could upload their own S code and then allow people to use it, generate models that they could then download and install or insert into Bamboo Studio. So out of the box, it creates a tray that is 160 by 160 mil, height is 20, and the radius of the corners is 10. It has the ability to add multiple rows and multiple columns. Now, it's hard to tell about this, but I think these two values have been reversed, to be quite honest, the way it looks. Columns, I would normally think would go from the top to they go from the left to the right, and rows go from the top to the bottom. It's exactly the opposite here. So here we actually have 3 rows and 2 columns. So as you can see, this is a column, and this is a column, and this is a row, this is a row, and this is a row. So the reason that the one big part of it is taken up by one cell is because he gives us the ability to treat the first cell as special and do something to it. So in this case, it occupies 2 columns by 2 rows. So if I modified this to be, say, 1 and 1, which will drop it back to nothing, which is the default, it will basically be a normal tray. If I wanted to occupy 2 columns, and this kind of demonstrates what I was talking about, that will give you the ability to put something like a long tool, such as a screwdriver or something else like that. So just keep that in mind, that this is not like a worksheet where you have columns going down and rows going, or columns going across and rows going down. It's exactly the opposite. But anyway, so what I do here is I just figure out what I want to do. If I want more than 1 row and more than 1 column, the stuff that I've been doing, I'll do something like, I'll make the width to be like 80, and the length to be 200, and then when I click the generate button, it will recreate this model. And so this is kind of a lot of what you saw. And then maybe what I want to do is I want to add, let's say add 4 rows to that. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was showing you earlier that I had printed out, because I need a lot of small things. Now, again, depending on how small as, how big your fingers are, what you're going to put in there. So just keep that in mind. But this is extremely handy. So basically when you're done with this, now there's no save to it really. You just kind of have to note your settings. Just click the download button, pick the kind of printer that you have, click confirm, and then download a 3MF or an STL file, and then you can import both of those into Bamboo Studio. So like I said, I found this a few months ago and printed one off and started using it immediately, and it's really, really cool to just, when you work on something, have a place to put stuff. Previous to this, I just literally had a plastic bowl that I had retired out of my kitchen because it got too old, and I would just throw things into it. This serves the same purpose, except for the fact this one I can carry in one hand, and it allows me to sort things, and it's really become invaluable. So go check this stuff out on Maker World.